Hey Macy, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Can you hear me okay? Do I need to turn it up, down, anything?
Oh no, I'm fine.
All right, are you on a speaker? Trying to make sure I get a good signal on you. Can you talk a little bit so I can see what it sounds like?
Yeah, right here. Hello, hello, hello.
Okay, that's cool. Just as good, just because it's radio, so if we could get you as close to the mic or whatever, or on the handset, whatever's possible, just for sound quality purposes, because that'll determine how much of it gets on the air. As you can imagine, my boss goes, nah, or yeah, kind of thing.
Okay.
There you go. Thanks. I appreciate it. Just so that I have something I can actually put on the radio. A big welcome to the show. Thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited. We haven't been to Hawaii in ages, and some of the guys in the band haven't been there, so we're gonna have. It's cool. It's gonna be like a little pre-vacation. It's gonna be nice.
When was the last time that you were in the islands?
Oh wow! I knew you were gonna ask me that. I don't even remember. So I remember I went out there because I had a. It was something. It was work. It was like a. Because I remember me and Cuba Gooding were there, so I think it was for a movie Pro Bowl because we did shadow boxing together,
Ah, I
and I
get it.
think they flew us out to promote the movie. And then I went out there for a wedding once. So
Okay.
I'm the only person in the world that's only been to Hawaii twice. Yeah,
And
so
you've never played here before. This will be your first time playing here.
I think so. I remember I did the wedding, but that wasn't really a performance. So I think so. Yeah,
Wow, that's
crazy, right?
exciting. That's very cool then.
I
Well,
know.
and
I know.
have you done any of these blue notes before? I hear that they all sort of look similar on the inside. I've only been to ours, so I don't know, but that's what people say. Have you done other blue notes?
I've only done New York and Tokyo, and they don't look anything like. They're totally different. But they're small and they have those like those wooden chairs, those really uncomfortable chairs. I think they spent about $2 on their chairs and tables, but the food is really good, and and they always have great music. The sound, the sound there is amazing, and it's just a good night. It's like a good hang. The bartender's always knows what he's doing, so it's a lot of fun.
They do have good music. They have this chick Macy Gray coming
They
up
do,
this weekend.
yeah.
So explain to me something I've been curious about. You know what's kind of cool? You follow. We just had Eddie Lavert of the OJ's on a couple weeks ago, and like you, he's from Canton, Ohio. So it made me think
Crazy.
when I was thinking about you, I was like, explain to me how this woman who grew up in the very same town as the OJ's walked the same streets, probably went to the same stores, and then you just ended up being, a big music person yourself. How were you exposed to music first?
Like every other kid, my mom and dad, you get stuck with your parents' music at first, and then that was all like, my dad was a huge James Brown fan, and he was in love with Tina Turner, and my mother liked, Gladys Knight and Elvis and Dionne Warwick, so, but I have a lot of relatives, so we always had a lot of people, like our house was like Grand Central, there was always people over, and there was always music playing, and then I took piano lessons I started piano lessons when I was 7, and then I think MTV came out when I was was I in the 6th grade, 5th grade? I don't know, remember, but I remember I was obsessed with MTV, and that's kind of how I learned about like rock and roll and a lot of other artists, because all my family listened to most was black music. So I got exposed to like heavy metal and rock and roll and grunge and super pop. So I learned a lot from watching MTV,
Yeah, there's a lot of
honestly.
diversity there. I can imagine that would, and we're about the same age, so I can. There was like the early '80s that you're talking about, and so you
Yeah, I
already
think it was 1980, right?
about then
Came out.
80,
I forget.
81, something like that. That they,
Yeah.
it's hard to remember precisely, but it was right around then. What led to you moving to California and attending USC for what I read was script writing?
Yeah, so there's absolutely zero to do in Canton, Ohio. It's a factory town. So everybody there works. Everybody's dad works at some factory, and then they have a roller skating rink, and everybody in Canton knows how to play cards. Like, you should never play cards against somebody from Canton because they'll win. But other than that, there's not a lot going on. So I just couldn't wait to get out of there. And, just from watching TV, like my favorite TV shows, they all were shot in California. Like I remember Three's Company, and they were always running on the beach.
Right.
So I only applied to schools in California, and I got into Stanford, I got into USC, and I got into, I forget the other one. My mother would know. So I picked USC because they had it was right in LA, and that's where I wanted to be. So I had no idea what I was doing. I just wanted to get out of Kent. So that was my inspiration.
Well, I get it, and I'll keep that advice in mind. Thank you for that. I'll never be sitting down for any card games with any Canton, Ohio cats. I was checking this out. You did a little bit of, looks like when it came to getting signed, you kind of had a little bit of a hiccup. Looks like you got signed to Atlantic, then that didn't work out. Then you end up on Epic, and then it looks like, and again, I could have it wrong, and please don't throw things at me if I do, but it looks like your very first major debut recording thing was that track with the Black Eyed Peas, Love Won't Wait.
You mean like released?
Yep.
What is it? Okay, so yeah, I got signed to Atlantic, and I got pregnant. That's what happened. They got me, and then my first release. Actually, the very first release I ever had was in a movie called Picture Perfect. It was starring Jennifer Aniston, and it was a demo of I Try.
Wow.
Because I had a publishing deal.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know. That song is very old.
Yeah, right. So then,
but I had a publishing deal, and my publisher pitched it, and they put it in the movie. So I have Jennifer Aniston to thank for everything.
And that was way before it was a hit.
Yeah, way before.
Yeah.
That was the only thing I had going for a long time, and I didn't even know it was that big. I had moved on from the song. I really never thought that song was a big deal.
Been the case with so many bands and so many songwriters. I've heard that so many times, and they'll maybe shelve something sort of like you or use it for something like you did with that Jennifer Aniston movie, but then years later it becomes this mega hit, and that song really is one of those great songs. Sometimes it only takes one, and you're lucky that you have had that and many other things. But tell me a little bit about when they finally packaged that thing up and put it out. It must have felt real good for you to have that start to take on a life of its own and become a mega hit.
Yeah, it was, I got signed to Epic, and that was like a whirlwind because no one had ever treated me like that. Like, they treated me like I was like Jesus or something. Like, I could get whatever I wanted, and, they gave me, money, and if I needed something, they would send somebody over to do it. So I was really kind of basking in all of that. Like, I kind of forgot about my career. But I did go to the studio, and we made the album, and then I thought that the hit on the album was this song called, what did I want? It was a song called I've Committed Murder. And I was literally arguing with the head of the label about what the single should be. And she was like, I signed you because I try. She kind of dismissed me. Get out of here. So I went on tour. I went to Europe. And it took a minute, though. Everybody thinks it happened overnight, but it took about 6 months before that song broke. I remember I was in Europe, and my manager called me, and he said, I Try is number one, because I didn't even know.
Wow.
And I said, what does that mean? And he says, that means they play your song more than anybody else. And that's how I found out. I was on tour, having fun with my band, traveling. I wasn't even thinking about no charts.
That's great.
So it was all kind of just came down from heaven,
Yeah, no, I dig it. I can imagine. It sounds like it. I think, and maybe I have this wrong too, because I remember seeing you back around then. Did you open for Santana in 2000?
Yeah, I opened for Santana, David.
Matthews.
Right now, Matthews. And The Roots was my very first tour. I also opened for David Bowie. I opened for, who's the redhead dude with the really high voice? Simply Red.
Oh yeah, right, right. What did
Yeah.
you do with your Grammy for that? Where did you put that? Did you put it somewhere nice?
Yeah, it's in my living room. It's there. Mm, it's cool.
So you saved it. It's in your living room.
Yeah, it's right next to the TV.
And the acting, going to school for the script writing, and I get it that Canton was like the kind of place you wanted to do just about anything to get out of there. And I see how watching MTV would also influence you towards doing visual stuff. From what I read, was your first major role Training Day?
Yeah.
And we talk about getting that to happen for yourself. And maybe when you look back, any highlights from that, working with those cats, Denzel, Ethan Hawke, Dr. Dre, Snoop. What are some stories you've got from that or memories that stick out?
I remember I went to the set the day before we shot, and Antoine, the director, he introduced me to Denzel, and Denzel invited me in his trailer, and he gave me some like pointers and stuff. And I remember him being in character. He was like already in the character of the person that he played, and he had this look in his eye, and I just remember the look in his eye. And then the next day we shot, and I remember we were like down in Imperial Gardens. So if you live in LA, you know that's like that's like the neighborhood where it's not always the safest place in the world. So
Okay.
they were doing the shooting scenes, and all these people started coming out of the apartments, and Denzel freaked out. He was like, "You can't be shooting in this neighborhood, even if it's fake." So Antoine walked over to all these young dudes, and out they were like had their hands in their pockets like they was about to do something, and he invited them all to be in the movie. So all those extras in that scene that you see, like standing by the tree and running, and they were all from the neighborhood. So
Wow.
that was really cool.
That's a great
I've never
memory.
seen nothing like that before. Yeah.
That that's a
Yeah.
very unique way of calming the situation and making the movie a little bit more real too. You've had some interesting music collaborations too that I think are pretty worth noting. You did a duet with Zucchero. It featured Jeff Beck. Were you there when he recorded his part?
No, not Jeff. No. Mm-mm.
And that's the way it is with music. A lot. I totally
Yeah.
get that. And so it's fascinating because I get to talk to a lot of cats who are on some major sessions or have these huge resumes, but a lot of it is done separately, understandably, because all you guys are so busy. Was it the same sort of thing, Macy, when you did the collaboration with Natalie Cole?
No, Natalie was right next to me. She came to the studio. We hung out all day. She actually came the day before to check it out, and then she came back the next day to record it. She was super cool. She was there the whole time.
Was that a lot of fun to do that with her? Was that like give you kind of chills, or what was that all about?
Yeah, she's just such a rock star. She's just really gracious, and she really wanted to she really wanted to do it right. Which, of course she should want to, but you figured like someone like her who's legendary, like they wouldn't really, care that much. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's not how it should be, but just because I've run into that before, and so, but she was the opposite. Like, she was just really intense, and she wanted to get her parts right and learn all the lyrics. And, like I said, she came the day before just to listen to it and just to get it in her system. And I learned a lot from her that day. That was really cool.
That's awesome. Lessons from a major cat there. I just had Johnny Mathis on the show, and he was super tight with her dad. He was telling me all these stories about her dad and her, who he's worked with as well. There's another big music luminary that factors into your life. You're a huge Stevie Wonder fan. In fact, I would venture to guess you are a humongous Stevie Wonder fan. And you know why I would say that, for folks who don't know?
Mm-hmm.
You covered his entire Talking Book album for one of its milestone anniversaries. I've even seen video of you performing with him at B.B. King's in New York. Now, when did you first meet him? And talk about how developing a passion for this incredible musician.
Well, he's the one that's been around since everybody was a kid. Like even kids today grow up on him. So I'm trying to remember when we first met. he came to the studio one day just to meet me, which was really cool. But yeah, I know every single song. Talking Book and Songs in the Key of Life. I used to just listen to that album all day, and I remember I wanted my album to sound like that, but you can't really sound like that. It's so authentic, it's so pure and from the heart. You can't really copy that, no matter what you do. So, because it's totally his, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, he's a huge influence of mine, and it's amazing, he's still doing shows and still making records. So
you met him before doing the Talking Book?
Yeah. He's really popular. He gets around, but he knows everybody. Everybody knows Stevie. I came to his birthday party once. He wanted me to sing Happy Birthday. His wife surprised him and had me sing Happy Birthday. And then he owns a radio station here that everybody goes to. He's like, he's like the homie. Like everybody knows. Everybody knows him. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. But he's legend, you know what I mean?
Where is this that he owns the station? What city is that he has the station?
It's in Inglewood. He owns KGLH for a long time.
In L.A., basically.
Yeah.
And
his daughter runs it, remember? Isn't she lovely? So the head of the label, the head of the radio station.
Wow. Wow.
I know.
That's incredible. I did not know that. Is that the only, so you've jammed with him, I'm assuming from what you're saying, more than just that time at BB King's?
Yeah, he came to my studio a couple times. Like he would I guess he was out and didn't have nothing to do. He just stopped by. I know. He came by, and then one day we were trying to write a song together, and then I went over to his house and tried to write a song together, but it never got real. But no, he's cool like that. He's open.
That's that's nice. Yeah. That's got to be a surprise. You get like a surprise knock on the studio door. You're not going to believe this. Stevie Wonder's here.
Yeah, the thing is, nobody gets surprised. It's like, oh, yeah, let him in. It's just, like everybody knows him. I don't know how to explain it.
Oh, it's a nice thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's a great guy to be connected to. And as we go to wrap it up, it makes me think, when I was thinking of him and the way your relationship was with him, did you ever connect with Michael Jackson before he passed?
No, I met Michael at a party, and it was really brief, but I was really flattered because he knew who I was, and I wasn't, like, he looked at me and goes, "Oh my God, it's Macy Gray." I was so shocked I couldn't even speak. I was like, "Oh my God, Michael Jackson knows who I am," and I couldn't even get a word out. He probably thought I was rude because I didn't say anything. I literally couldn't speak. I couldn't get it together.
That's a cool memory, though. I dig that. And final one before we go, you did a collaboration last year, I guess, featured on a re-recording of Two Doors Down with Dolly Parton. Was that an encounter in-person kind of deal, or using technology to kind of do it separately?
No, we went out there, went to Nashville, and I hung out all day with Dolly, and we had a ball, and she liked the way I did the song, which I was very happy about. And then we hung out after, and it was super cool. It's that legend thing. Like, they're so comfortable in what they do, and that they don't, it's like, you don't see all that ego and arrogance for some people. Like, it was real natural. She's really gracious, and like, you can reach out and touch her. And she was at the studio. She had on 16 heels, just like she does, and her hair, everything was like, she had on fully made up, like she was full on Dolly Parton. So, I've never worn heels to the studio, but it's pretty cool, to see her in person.
That is funny.
She was awesome. She's wild. Yeah.
What's your most jaw-dropping hero encounter?
Probably when, I know this sounds crazy because I tell people this and they're like, really? But you know the actor Gary Oldman?
Mm-hmm.
Batman? He's been in a ton of movies. Sid and Nancy, remember?
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
I know who he is.
our kids went to the same school, and his son was at my daughter's birthday party at my house, and he came to pick up his son. And I was so starstruck I didn't speak to him either. Because I couldn't believe Gary Oldman was in my house. I was like, who is that? I couldn't believe he was in my house. Because there's a lot of people that's been to my house, but for some reason he blew me away. Because he kind of walked in, he was just looking for his son. Because it was crazy. It was like a million kids there. It was like surreal, you know. It was like Gary Oldman is in my house looking for his son. Like, you just don't see those things coming. So anyway.
Well, you got a few stories like that. I don't think many people would expect to knock on the door and it would be Stevie Wonder either, just showing up while you're there. But
yeah.
it's a lot of fun talking to you, Macy. I hope you had fun today, too.
All right. I did. Thank you so much. Everybody come to the show. It'll be awesome.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Take care. Bye-bye.